Hey everybody, two-player co-op coming at you with 55 gallons of lube. Hey everybody, and welcome back to four-player co-op. I'm Gladys, and with me as always are Cryptic, Panther.
Hey everybody.
And once again, nobody else. We're down two men once again, and we will do our best to pick up the podcast and keep things flowing. Our other two members could not make it for this podcast. Luckily, last one we had all four of us back, so we get one, hurrah of a podcast, and we're back down again, and the name is a lie. We'll try to move through. yeah. We'll try to move through as much information as we can here with just the two of us. First off, we're going to hit what are we playing, and since I'm already speaking, I'll go ahead and take the reins first. I'm still very much playing Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight, and MLB The Show. I'm also planning on re-downloading the free PlayStation Plus game this month, or one of them at least, Until Dawn. I played it on release but never finished it, so I'm looking forward to jumping back into that game. It was a lot of fun, and Panther tells me that it's worth playing until the end. So, Panther, what about you? What are you playing?
Yeah, well, I want to speak on Until Dawn there for a minute. Yeah, I got it when it first came out, and I thought it was great. It's such a different video game to play. It something like that for the longest time I wasn't used to playing. I never really played that type of, I guess, I don't know, not really a point and click, but choose your adventure.
Very much game. Like interactive type of RPG. Yeah, choose your adventure.
So
that's a good way to put it.
Definitely interesting. So if anyone that hasn't picked it up and has PS Plus, grab that free game and give it a play. If you don't know what it is, you'll enjoy it. For me, I am still playing Friday the 13th. I haven't touched MLB for the last few days. I don't know if anyone watches any of my videos on the channel, but I recently had elbow surgery, so my gaming sessions are hard to come by. My arm gets tired sore pretty damn fast, so I've been spending more time with Friday the 13th than really anything else the last few days. I recently finished Abzu, which is a swimming simulator that is definitely interesting. I picked it up free there a few months ago on Plus, and definitely interesting. I'll say that it's hard to describe. If you've played Journey, you kind of get an idea of the type of game it is if you've ever played Journey. And recently, just this past 2 days, I started playing Shadow of Mordor in preparation for Shadow of War, which comes out in October. And I'm really liking that. I mean, the game's a few years old, but I think it holds up really well. It's so far it's been pretty fun.
Yeah, and it actually had gotten Game of the Year when it was released, so it's certainly been applauded by critics as well.
It's
a fantastic game.
Fun with it. So yeah, like I said, I'm stoked for Shadow of War. So I said, well, I better get Mordor done. And I had played a little bit of it before, but I deleted my save and I started right back from the scratch again.
Yeah, I did the same thing as well. It was just too long between plays because I never actually finished it either. So when I got back into it a couple of months back, I said to myself that I'm just going to start fresh and relearn how to play it and re-experience it.
Yeah, I'm liking it. So if anyone who hasn't played it, I know it is. I think it's still on sale, or recently was on sale, and on PlayStation. So it was like dirt cheap. So if anyone picked it up, I'd say give it a go before October if you're getting Shadow of War.
Yeah. All right. So Panther, talk to us about Horizon Zero Dawn. There was just an update that was released.
So it seems like every podcast we were talking about Horizon Zero Dawn or Guerrilla Games, and in some aspect, in most podcasts, I think since release, pretty much.
Yeah.
And like they just keep making everybody happy, man. They just come out with a new update that includes New Game Plus. People have been asking for it pretty much since the first few weeks. The game was everybody beat the game, and now they're like, hey, we want New Game Plus. So finally, Guerrilla Games come through. New Game Plus, and also added an ultra hard difficulty. So anyone out there that didn't think the hard was hard enough, now it's even fucking harder. How about that? So with that, they've added face paint. They've added another set of bows. They've also added the new set of bows replaces the high level ones, so they're even higher level. And they have four slots now instead of 3 for your customizations. The only way to unlock new focuses too. New look for focuses, new face paints is to actually beat the game on New Game Plus. I don't know if you need to beat it on I was trying to find that I thought it was an article. It said what you had to do to beat it and get the option favorite. I think it's just beat New Game Plus, but I know the new trophies, the 2 new trophies. One is beat it on New Game Plus and beat it on Ultra Hard. So there's 2 new trophies, which don't affect your platinum. If you already have the platinum or are trying to get a platinum, you don't need those 2 specific trophies for that. But yeah, so man, they just keep making it better.
Yeah, and there wasn't, as far as I'm concerned, too much room for improvement. But yeah, it's a welcome addition that they did in New Game Plus, because when I do eventually go back and replay it, I'll be able to go through and experience the story once again, but not have to make that climb of, trying to get leveled up and figure everything out that I wanted on all my setups and everything. So exactly. It'll be nice to come back in and be able to just breeze through and experience the story for the story.
Yeah, so I was thinking the same thing. I actually fired it up the other day, and after the patch was the update or whatever patch you want to call it was installed, and just running around just blowing shit up. I'm like, oh, this game is so fun. So I'm thinking about, with all the other games that I've played, I don't really have time to do New Game Plus. Plus the DLC's coming before the end of this year, so I don't know if we'll get another run at New Game Plus before the DLC, but it definitely nice addition that it's there. For anyone who wants to go back and experience the game again, for sure. I'm happy. Good on you, Guerrilla Games.
I think we all are. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on here. After no show at E3, Sony does confirm that Infamous Dev's new game is still happening. The developer of Infamous, or the Infamous franchise, Sucker Punch Productions, is making a new game. Still not much information about it, as we just said in the title there. It was nowhere to be seen at Sony's E3 briefing earlier this month, but PlayStation Studios boss Shuhei Yoshida said on the GameSpot stage at E3 that he has played that game many times. Now, he didn't give any more details other than that, just to say that he had played it, that it's a game. So it's apparently been in development back since December 2015. They had a playable version that was internally playable, at least. So it's been in development now for 2 years almost, but we still don't know too much about it. So with that type of development time, we can probably expect something pretty big. What do you think, Panther?
Yeah, I mean, I never played the Infamous games.
Oh.
I've watched a lot of gameplay, and I actually did download that free DLC standalone thing. I never did play it. I do have it. I'm going to try it one of these days. I have a backlog of those PlayStation Plus stuff to either to play or delete. I deleted a few the other day. Some of those little indie games. I'm like, what the hell game is this? I'm like, no, thank you, delete. So it's one of the games I do have to go back and eventually try and play. I know our good buddy Games Enthusiast is a big Infamous fan, but I just didn't. I guess when they came out, I was playing other games, and I just never get into them. But yeah, I'm definitely interested for something from Sucker Punch, because I mean the Infamous games, everyone loves them that plays them, so they're definitely a solid studio. And Shuhei Yoshida has been playing it multiple times, and not allowed to divulge any information. They must be waiting for a big reveal.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had a playable demo since 2015, so they've probably been development a little longer than that as well. So yeah, you're looking at 2 years plus since they've been working on it. So I'm figuring PSX is going to be a big showcase this year for PlayStation.
Yeah, that's probably some good information there. I think a lot of people were disappointed by what we got at E3, so
yeah,
maybe a chance at redemption. Yeah, and Sucker Punch is a Sony studio.
Yeah.
So they might be holding their cards for that. We'll see.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, like I said, I mean, come out on stage and give a tiny little demo. Sometimes maybe they just figured it was best just to hold their cards until they have something that bigger to show us. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they bring to the table. I mean, it's
yeah. I liked all the past Infamous games. I thought the last one they released, what was the name of that? Second Son, I think, or
yeah.
Shit, was that it?
Yeah, Second Son's right.
Yes, Second Son.
Look, I don't even play the games, and I know.
No. It's been a while though. I mean, what was that released in 2014, 2015?
Yeah, something like that.
somewhere around. Yeah, it's been a few years. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, that was really cool. I enjoyed the original games as well. So, looking forward to it. And now, don't take us the wrong way here. We're not confirming that it's an Infamous game.
No, it's not. I think it's a new
that
IP.
has not been confirmed. Yeah, apparently there was some type of insider earlier this year that suggested Sucker Punch is making a brand new IP, which would probably make sense as to why they haven't announced it yet until they get it more solid. If it was another Infamous game coming down the pipeline, they probably would have already announced just to drive up hype.
For
but
sure.
with a new IP, it's more of a gamble, so they probably want something to make them feel a little more confident before they show it.
That's my guess too. Or like I said,
Yeah.
Sony held some stuff back and from E3, and they stated that in an interview. That guy from Sony that done the E3 press conference, he was interviewed after, and he said, yeah, they held stuff back from E3. So I'm figuring PSX is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Because they have before PSX, there's a couple other conventions that they're going to be at. So, I mean, they have a lot of time to show off their wares. So, I figured everything else, most of the stuff they showed in the main conference was a lot of 2018 release stuff. So why show us stuff that's not coming out till 2019 at the 2017 press conference? So, I think it was smart to hold stuff back and wait for their conference to give us some exciting news.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so talk to us about PC game. Actually, I think this just came out on Xbox as well, didn't it? PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
I think it's coming to Xbox soon. I don't know if it's officially there because it's still early access, and the Xbox does do early access games. Okay. So that's why it's coming to Xbox before it is coming to PS4, because they have announced it is coming to PS4. Okay. But yeah, so PlayerUnknown Battleground has banned 25,000 cheaters in the past 3 months.
That's fantastic.
that is good news for anyone who plays it. I personally don't play the game. I was kind of in the dark a little bit about the game at first. I'm like, is this one of those survival run around simulators and try to find guns in the fucking wilderness for 3 or 4 hours with your friends? And I've watched some different gameplay, and it looks interesting. It looks like there's some intense action and stuff going on, because that one mode that forces you into that circle to fight. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. I kind of like this, but I haven't picked it up yet. So, but yeah, them banning 25,000 cheaters is good news. Anytime that these companies can do the right thing and ban the cheaters is good. I know a lot of people don't have a lot of faith in the software used to catch and ban cheaters. I know Battlefield 1, the glitchers and cheaters and stuff in that game, even at fucking beta, when they launched the beta, there was people cheating. But they have a Fairlight or whatever it's called, and it seems to only work about 20% of the time. Yeah, so PlayerUnknown Battleground is they're doing something right. They're catching the cheaters and they're banning them. And they said, the number of players banned is dwarfed by the major competitive games. In February of this month, Blizzard banned 23,000 Overwatch players for cheating in Korea alone. So 23,000 people in 1 month. So there's other games out there that are a lot more damn cheaters than
are these perma bans or temporary bans?
I'm looking through the notes, and I do believe it's perma bans.
That would be better.
Players, hackers, I'd say and games that number of players. Hackers negatively impact a lot of people. So the number of players banned is dwarfed. Yeah, I read that line. I was reading through earlier, and I don't think it said this was time. So I'm guessing from what it stated here that this is a permaban. Okay. Caught, you're done. So.
Well, good. And then we had talked a lot off podcast about Friday the 13th banning. They're also very active in banning cheaters and glitchers and stuff like that.
Yeah, they've stepped up, and I mean, I'm not going to get into it. There's a big controversy now on Reddit. I don't want to get into it on the podcast for sure, but they received over 5,000 emails or whatever to review glitchers. So that's why the patch came out as fast as it did. They're working on more than just a glitch fix. They're working on a larger patch for both consoles. But with the amount of people that were glitching and an amount of people in reviews that they were forced with, they had nothing to do but to step up and patch the glitches. I know Xbox is still waiting. as of this podcast, anyways, because I haven't been on the subreddit for a couple of days to avoid the drama. But I know Xbox is waiting on their patch. But I know the roof glitch is gone in PS4 and PC. So you have to play the game now, you damn slacking cheaters. But yeah, for game companies to step up and to ban people that are, I mean, if the game glitches and puts you somewhere in a game where you're not accessible, that's fine. I mean, games, they're perfect. I mean, Friday the 13th has some problems, and I know Player Unknown is still class early access, so I know they're gonna have some issues. It's not unforeseeable, but I mean, to knowingly to glitch and cheat, I just don't get the point of it. I don't see, like, even in Battlefield 1, like, why do you want to cheat? Where's the fun? Let's load up into a server and just hide in the clouds and snipe people from an invisible position because, you know. But yeah, I'm happy that these companies. I mean, we and you don't play Overwatch, and I'm not a fan of the game, but yeah, I mean, it's at least these companies are stepping up and they're saying, hey, you're gonna cheat, we're banning you. I know there's a few other kind of like CS, Counter Strike, and even the people like at H1Z1, I do believe, do a lot of work trying to keep people from glitching and cheating. So, yeah, like I'm all for it. You're gonna cheat,
Absolutely.
You deserve what you get.
Yep. All right. So speaking of Friday the 13th, that's our next topic here. Gun Media and Ilphonic's Friday the 13th, the game currently has and launched with only a multiplayer aspect, with the promise of a single player section of the game later. And we got a tweet the other day. What was this? Last week? From Gun Media's Wes Keltner. I'm not sure what his position here. It just says that Gun Media's Wes Keltner. But he tweeted, think about the game like a film. Multiplayer starts at Reel 4. Everyone knows that Jason is there. Single player starts at Reel 1. All victims have no idea. So that's the tweet that he sent out. Now, obviously, in this tweet, there's not much details or even hinting necessarily how the experience is going to be, other than that the setting is going to start a little more peacefully. So Panther and I were talking pre-podcast, and we're not sure, and I haven't seen any communication on this, on whether or not single player is going to be from the Jason perspective or from the counselor's perspective, or both. I think it would be smart to do both, but I feel like it's absolutely necessary to have counselor playable as a single player as well.
Here's how I think of it. When you say that it's starting from Reel 1, they don't know Jason's there. So that's going to be, if you're playing Jason, then you're going to be able to sneak through the camp or whatever area it is and kill people with it, all them running away and knowing you're there. That's what what they're leaning towards by saying that starts at Reel 1, or they don't know Jason's there. So because I mean, if you're playing as a counselor, you're automatically going to know Jason's coming because you know the game you're playing, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're start off and you're supposed to be a counselor and you're supposed to be, I don't know, doing whatever, you're going to be starting collecting the bat and bear traps and whatever. You're going to be going to battle mode because you know what's happening. Playing as Jason, those counselors are going to be, swimming or playing archery or, maybe screwing in the cabin. I don't know. And you'll be able to sneak in as Jason, like as in the movies, and murder them. That's what I'm thinking. Because, like I said, not unconfirmed, but there was some comments made. I might have been a tweet or a response to Ilphonic, but there was never, I don't think it was ever replied back to by them. And there was also some comments on Reddit on this post and another one regarding single player. And someone was saying, oh yeah, the people at Gun Media or whoever said that Jason's not going to be an NPC. So I haven't seen anything official. And this article doesn't state anything.
No.
So it's all guessing right as of right now until we get more info. But
it's gonna be revealed soon, I'm sure. Now your argument for playing as Jason over the counselor makes a ton of sense. I absolutely agree with every point that you said. The only reason I'm kind of holding out to say I feel like we should be able to, I feel like that's absolutely necessary for the single player component, is because a lot of people still play and love the game, and mostly right now the experience that we have 9 times out of 10 is playing as a counselor. That's right. The core base of the game.
Yeah, I mean that's the majority of it for sure.
Yeah, that's the primary experience when you're playing Friday the 13th, is you're playing as a counselor. So, as you stated, and it's 100% correct, is that when you start this game up, if you play single player as a counselor, you know what's going to happen. So you'd be in battle mode, collecting all the stuff that you can. So it's going to be a little surprising, I think, how they pull it off. Because if we do play as counselors, what are they going to have us doing before the bloodbath begins? Are they going to send us on like activities to kayak or do archery or something like that? I mean, how are they going to keep us busy before the carnage starts if we play as counselor? That's the question that I want to know right now, because as you already lined out, how Jason would play is you'd have to kind of stealthily set up some of these kills, and it'd probably be more cinematic, closer to like how the movies were. That's I would say I'd put money on it that's how that experience will work. For sure.
And the screenshot in this article, because the article is, as per always, is going to be linked in the description, is the article shows a cartoon characters running to a barn. In this image you can't see it, but in one of the tweets, and I'd have to see if I can try to back and find it. It had like a little wording up in the upper right hand corner, something about episode 4 or something, but it's not in the screenshot that's in the article. So I don't know if they, for this article, it was edited out, or they just cut the image down to fit their application. But I know one of the pictures that was posted from this, and it's identical, except for the upper right corner has like episode 4 or story 4 or something in the corner. So if I can find that, I'll link that too, if anyone wants to see it, if I can find it. But I know the images, everything else is identical. They're like the 3 people or so running to the barn. So yeah, I'm stoked. I mean, I like the game. It's fun. Yeah, it has its little issues here and there, but I mean, the devs have constantly communicated that they're working on improving and adding to the game. So, yeah, anything added on is always good in my mind. I don't.
For sure. I see that panel that you were talking about. I just looked on Wes Keltner's Twitter account, and he posted it. And it's that same image, but it's just expanded, and it says Friday the 13th single-player storyboard, episode 4.
There you go. Yeah, so it does say it in that.
Confirmed.
Okay. There you go. So, yeah, I don't know what they mean by that, but there's going to be 4 different scenarios you get to play through, or how that works. But anyways, yeah. So there's not a lot of details yet, but I still think it's cool that they're adding it, and they're kind of keeping the fans, teased and updated a little bit the best they can. And,
yeah, they've been doing a good job so far.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, there's the issues with the glitches and the issues with some of the problems, and no host migration. There's some issues, but I mean, I think overall, I said for this being kind of like pretty sure their first title, I think they're holding their own. I mean, some people wouldn't say that, but I mean, my experience has been 80% positive, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
And playing with friends is a lot of fun. So.
Oh, it definitely makes the game for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And Gun Media's Wes Keltner has also, right at the bottom of this article, it mentions he has also noted on Twitter that more maps are in the works. Excuse me. So plural, more maps. That's something they're actively working on now. We don't know if this is going to be released as a free LC, or if they're going to charge for it, or what the policy is so far that they're going to do, but they haven't said much about DLC.
No, they haven't really. The only thing we know that the single player is coming free for anyone to purchase the game, because it was already promised as part of the purchase. Course. So yeah. So as for other things, I don't know. And another cool thing is they made a post on Twitter asking if the people wanted. I can't remember the girl's name. Remember the thugs from, was it Friday 13th Part 3?
Part 3, yes. I had this article pulled up, and I was just about to talk about that as well. Yeah, her name is Gloria Charles.
So if you want to stick that in, we'll definitely give that a little talk. Yeah, this right here, the adding Part 3's Fox.
Yes. Yeah. So if you guys are fans of the movie franchise Friday the 13th, Part 3, which is one of the better entries in my opinion, you will remember the bikers that were in that movie, and there was the one badass woman. Her character name was Fox. But the actress's name is Gloria Charles, and she recently passed away. Actually, well, not too recently, but December of last year, so within the past 12 months. And she was one of the most memorable characters of the entire Friday the 13th franchise. that actress passed away, and they're actually looking to add Fox as a playable character. This is coming again from Gun Media's Wes Keltner, the same guy. So I guess he's their spokesperson, officially or unofficially, one of the two, but that's what it's coming out as. So right now they're having a problem locating agents or members of her estate. They can't nail down the proper contact, and they would like to pay tribute to the actress and the character by bringing Fox back to Crystal Lake. So if anybody has information, they're asking for it, and hopefully they can get that sorted out, because I think that'd be cool. Right now, we don't have any of the characters from Friday the 13th, the movie franchise, other than Tommy Jarvis.
No, not official. I mean, some of them are based on...
Yeah, I mean, they're all
characters.
stereotypes,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Based on stuff from the movies. But yeah, so...
Sure.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have her. I mean, that's a pretty cool way, I mean, to pay homage to her, you know, so now that she's passed, and put her in the game as kind of a little honor. I think that's pretty neat. I hope they can pull it off.
Yeah, it would be cool. I think it'd be very, very nice for them to do. So if all two of you listening have any information on that, you can contact f13game@fearthegun.com. You can send it to and put the subject as Gloria Charles. All right. Moving on from Friday, Panther talked to us about Super Hot.
Super Hot, being released on PlayStation 4 and PSVR July 19th. So this was something, it's a bit of a PC. I'm going to say almost 2 years. I don't know if it's 2 years. I should look that up before I start quoting. It's been out on PC for at least a year. I know there was like a beta probably a year, maybe a year and a half ago. And anyone who doesn't know what Super Hot is, definitely go look up some YouTube videos. I played on PC. My PC is not much of a gaming rig. I need a video card. So, I mean, it played okay on my machine. But it definitely worked a lot better on like that, where it's now being optimized for PS4 and VR. There's an actual separate version for VR. So it's two separate games. So if you don't have VR, you don't have to buy the VR edition. It's coming like single one or the other, or as a package deal, apparently. No price as of this time. I know someone was speculating in the $20-$30 range, but I haven't seen an official price from Sony as of yet. But if anyone's not familiar with the game, it is a first-person shooter, and what it is time doesn't move unless you move. So I got the puzzle aspect, because what it is the enemies, which are they're made out of glass, red glass, is they will come in the screen and they'll shoot at you, but the bullets don't come at you until you move. So it's you got to plan your moves to avoid bullets and then shoot the enemies. And your bullets don't move until you're moving. So it's like a time freeze physics-based puzzle shooter. It's definitely interesting. I think this game would definitely benefit from a demo. This is one of those games that people go, what the hell is this? I don't know what the hell this is. And not everyone goes to YouTube to watch videos. Not everyone listens to podcasts. So, I think the gaming community that might not be, the informative type or the YouTubing type would definitely benefit from a demo of this game, because it's interesting. I'm not saying it's like, the best goddamn game. Everyone should go out and buy it. But it's definitely interesting. I'm looking forward to coming out in PS4. I just hope it's not overpriced.
It seems like it's going to be very challenging, so not for newbies, I guess.
Well, there's when I played I don't know if it was a beta or whatever. When I played it, the first levels were really easy. It's like one enemy, pretty basic, and then it kind of goes up from there, like multiple enemies. There's even one where there's a car driving through the parking lot, so you had to not get run over by the car. Like it's very blocky. Like it's definitely worth to go watch video if you're not familiar with the game, just to kind of see what it's all about. I'm not going to recommend any YouTubers, because I couldn't remember who I watched when it first came out, for you to dig back through their videos to watch it. But imagine if you typed it in YouTube search, you'd probably find tons of videos on it. So yeah, I'm stoked. That's why I want to talk about it. I think it's an interesting game. It's definitely something different. So yeah, if anyone's looking for time freeze turn-based puzzle shooter. There you go. I don't know how else to describe it. Go watch some goddamn YouTube videos.
That's the best way I could think of to describe it, actually.
Yeah, so July 19th is finally got an actual official launch date. And a Wednesday. Definitely a weird launch day.
Yeah, that is weird.
Because originally I'd seen rumor screenshots 17th. There's a bunch of comments saying, "No, it's going to come out on the Friday before 14th," and there was a whole bunch of comments on Reddit about it. But yeah, officially Sony's announced it on the 19th. So anyone looking forward to it, there you go.
Sweet. All right, moving on. The Super Nintendo Classic coming out from Nintendo. It's going to be available September 29th, and it will cost $80 US. There's not too much new or anything surprising really with this announcement. I guess we have the date and the price now. I guess one thing that they had expanded on is the controller length for the wires because of the Nintendo Classic that they released. The wires were just like way too short.
Yeah, they were like brutal short. Like you had to sit like in front of
3
the
feet.
TV. Yeah, they might have been 3 feet. Yeah, something like that. They were horrible.
They really wanted that old Nintendo experience.
Yeah, sitting on the floor directly in front of your console and your TV. Suck if you had a 65-inch TV trying to play that little shit.
Yeah, you gotta climb inside of it in order to reach that controller.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, the big news out of this is Star Fox 2, previously released.
Never released.
Yeah, so apparently the developer of the game was shocked that it was announced that it's coming out. He was like, I guess they didn't tell him either. It's like there was an article. I should have linked it so we can talk about it. But yeah, I was like, the developer of Star Fox 2 was surprised that his game's actually going to finally be released. I'm thinking, well, did they tell him or will they wait till they actually announce it? It's like, oh yeah, Jim, we're putting your game out now. Oh, only 14 years too late. Actually, more than 14 years.
Oh, yeah, a long time.
24 years.
Yep. Jeez.
So 21 games you're getting.
It's coming out with 21 games. Some of them are classics. Some I actually don't recognize. As you mentioned, there's going to be Star Fox 2 and the big heavy hitters of Mario Kart, Super Mario World, F-Zero, which, man, I love that game. I totally forgot about it. Star Fox, Donkey Kong Country, Yoshi's Island. There's a whole bunch of stuff on here. Street Fighter as well. Punch Out, Castlevania. They've got actually some pretty good games here, but I just think the price is too steep for me. I don't think I'm going to pick it up. Not for $80.
Well, it won't be $80. It'll be $355 on eBay.
Well, that's yeah, that too. I mean, their whole supply and demand issue that they continue to have on purpose has been a problem and probably will continue to be a problem. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like they want to learn.
Yeah, I don't see them fixing that problem. That's kind of what they're noted for right now. And I'm just taking a quick look to see if there's not even a pre-order, I don't think, in Canada yet. So I'm just wondering if there's an actual Canadian price.
I don't know. It'll probably be what would be the conversion rate? $100, $110 Canadian?
Well, they don't seem to go full conversion rate on consoles because the PS4 is $399 US. It's $499 Canadian. It's not a proper full conversion. So there's usually they don't quite do full conversion because no one would buy their console.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I can't even find a pre-order in Canada for it. So
yeah. One interesting thing, at least from this webpage that I can see, is that the size of the console is actually much, much smaller. It'll fit very comfortably in your hand.
Yeah. So
not much bigger than the actual controllers that come with it. So that's pretty shocking, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty tiny. I mean, like it's that person's hand from the picture doesn't look like it's a big old man hand. It looks like a woman's hand.
Yeah. Now
hope it's not a kid's hand. Holy shit.
Oh god. Am I correct in assuming, and I mean, of course this is speculation, but I'm assuming that you cannot put any NES games that you own into the system, right?
Oh no,
It
the
looks like it
cartridge
has
is-
the slot.
Yeah, well, it's just to make it look like the old one. But yeah, that's too small.
Yeah.
I mean, the cartridge never fit. Cartridges,
Well,
be wider than that. That's
yeah,
the
I
only
think
problem
so.
I have with these classics is um like down the road, like what are you gonna do like once you play all the games and you're done, like
Yeah. Well, there's no way of expanding that library.
yeah, like I mean they're not where you can go and purchase like a micro SD card with more content on it. Like that, to me, that's the smart move.
Yeah, I would say if you put a chip in this thing and make it Wi-Fi connectable to some type of store that you could download digitally, these little retro games, because you could easily put I don't know, for these games you wouldn't need more than what,
No.
50 gigs for every game ever made.
Every game wouldn't even come close to that, I don't think. 50 gigs would be,
Yeah, so
would be-
that's what I mean,
Yeah.
and that's we have technology now to where that can be smaller than the size of this console easily. So
yeah.
shit, if this was just
yeah, I mean,
a
like
digital platform,
yeah, like I don't understand. I mean, that to me, where there'd be potential for more money, is
Yeah.
release the console, say with like 2 games or 3 games for a discounted price, but then
Yeah.
sell. I mean, I'm just getting into the EA market mind, I guess. Oh, let's just sell them everything and then charge for everything else.
well, not necessarily, because
But I
if these
mean-
games are only $5 a pop,
Well, not even. I'd say you could probably sell them cheaper than that and still sell a lot of them. Like
could
the thing
but-
is, the price of the console being $80. Okay, it comes with a bunch of games, but okay, after I've say the 12 games that I do like, after I've played them, then I can't do anything else with the console.
Yeah.
So they're making a throwaway market. They're going to be the Rock Band of the fucking middle 20s, because everyone bought Rock Band, and after a while people just fucking threw all that shit out. So what's going to happen to the NES and the SNES classics after people are tired of playing Punch Out for the 315th time?
Yeah.
That nostalgia fact wears off, right? And then people they'll just be dust collectors. And that's unfortunate, because I grew up on Nintendo, and I would actually like to play some of those games on a proper, stable, platform with the old school controllers. Like, that's bringing back memories, but I'm not shelling out the coin, man. They can
Yeah, I
fuck
know,
off.
me neither. So I think we're definitely on the same page there. That
All right,
another opportunity
Raspberry-
missed.
Yeah, Raspberry Pi it up, I guess.
Yep, somebody's baking a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, if you're looking for that nostalgia feel.
So to wrap it up on this topic here, it's going to be available September 29th for $80. If you're interested in actually buying this thing, pre-order it or somehow buy it before it's actually released to the general market, because I'm imagining supply issues will be a problem.
Yeah, I'm figuring. Yeah, it's going to be the same as the last 2 launches. The NES Classic and the Switch. It's going to be a fucking free for all.
Yep. All right, so moving on, Panther talked to us about some Xbox One user compatibility.
Yeah, so this article came out, and it's back just the start of last month. So the article is been a month old. We're kind of sitting on this one. There's a lot of other news that we've covered recently, but it's still interesting. This is kind of one of the points I've made. Is about everyone goes, oh yeah, but the Xbox One, you can go back and play your old games, and then everyone's like, oh, now we can go back and play original Xbox games on the Xbox. I'm like, who fucking cares? Apparently, a lot of people don't fucking care. Because this article says Xbox One users largely ignore backwards compatible Xbox 360 games. So they have a little pie graph here. It shows that based on 930,000 Xbox One users on Xbox Live sampled between September 2016 and February 2017, so 54% play Xbox One's games. Okay? So over half. And then 16% is Netflix. And then in the 14% is other non-game apps, and then there's YouTube and TV apps are 6%. 1.5% Xbox 360's backward compatible games.
Wow.
1.5% of 930,000 samples. I mean, that's only 930. I mean, there's a hell of a lot more Xbox Ones out there than that. Isn't there like 932,000?
Yeah, I mean, that's
but-
almost all of the owners right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That's your player base. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Those numbers are fake.
We have to bash Xbox, of course.
Yeah, but it's in jest, and Uber's not here to try to defend it. So, yeah. So I mean, I've always kind of been like, well, backwards compatibility to me is it's great for people that are still playing 360 games and like, oh, now I can buy an Xbox One because I know I can play my games I'm still playing and still like to play. That's all great. I mean, I'm happy that that's an option, and I think backwards compatibility is a good thing, but people that try to just say, yeah, well, PS4 is not backwards compatible, so it sucks compared to an Xbox One. Well, sure, but the PlayStation 3 was a mind fuck of an architecture in the CPU, so it's not possible to do. It's technical.
Yeah.
I'm not get into it. But yeah, I mean, like for everyone to get all hyped up about backwards compatible, and then like I said, then announced at E3 that we can play now Xbox One game, original Xbox games. Like, sure, some of those old games have the classic feel. Like for me, like the Nintendo games, the people that grew up just playing Xbox, they weren't old. They haven't been around long enough to play the old school Nintendo games like myself and some other people. I get that nostalgia. I understand it. But for people to like lose their fucking minds, it's got backwards compatible, but so much better. It's like, yeah, apparently only the minuscule amount of people actually give a shit.
Yeah, a stunningly low percentage, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I always said, like, who wants to go play, 5-year-old games, 12-year-old games, whatever, when there's so many new games out to play? I don't have time to play all the new games, let alone go back and play games that I've either played or missed out on the previous generation and picked them up and play them now. I mean, a lot of those games, yeah, nostalgia's there. Some games don't hold up. I mean, I made a comment at the first that, like, Shadow of Mordor, it's 2 years old, and I can tell it's not a brand new game. But it's still actually almost 3 years old now. 2014, I think it came out, did it not?
I think so.
Anyways, yeah. So I mean, it's 2.5 years old. So I can tell it's not, it's not a current gen, AAA from 2017 game, but it still holds up and plays well. But if you go back and you play a game from 2010, is it still going to be as good as you remember? I don't think so. Same as some movies, man. They just don't hold up. So, and that to me also does it in video games because, I don't know. Like I said, the price of those Nintendos is too high to draw me back into nostalgia days. So, I'm one of those people, I guess, that, I don't want to live in the past with video games. I want all the future stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much the same way as well, to where, I'm not really tempted at all. But I like the idea of a collective package to play some of those older games. I just don't think the price is fair for it. And as you said, it's a throwaway console. It's something that's not expandable, that you can't buy more of. So, like, for me, the reason that I asked about the cartridges is because I still own a Super Nintendo. And I have probably 6 or 7 games. A couple of which are actually included in this collection that they're going to be releasing. But for me, if it was an option, at least not digitally but physically, if I could put games in it and I could play some, I have a shop, an old game shop down the road from where I live that I could go to, and I could pick up Super Nintendo games, or I could order them from Amazon or whatever. There's a couple different ways that you could find these older games. So if I could expand my library and do that, that would be kind of like something that I'd be interested, for a fair price. But sure. as you said, just to buy it, you're only going to play these, and once that nostalgia wears off, then you have nothing else to do with this. It's an empty purchase after that.
Right. So like I said, the nostalgia's there for me to a point. Excuse me. But like I said, with the Xbox One backwards compatibility, I mean, it just goes to show you that 1.5% of the people play 360 games. Out of 930,000. That's like hardly anybody.
Yeah.
So
it's a drop
I mean,
in the
yes,
bucket.
like I said, nostalgia for playing old games. I'm happy for people that use it, and the options there for you. I mean, I'm not even going to begrudge someone for having access to their games. I mean, hell, I wish the Xbox or the PS4 was backwards compatible, because then there's games then that I missed out on. I could probably pick up dirt fucking cheap and play them.
Yep.
Or Sony could, release like a nostalgia package where you can purchase a group of games or something. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, backwards compatible is great, but it's not a console seller. If it is, it's not being utilized.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know. I mean, like anyone that that's an Xbox gamer, and that's only Uber on this podcast. And I mean, there's, he always says, "Well, it's great for that." Well, it is, but apparently a lot of people don't care.
Yeah.
And those are Xbox gamers that don't care.
Yeah. I mean, that's the statistics. Those are facts.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah, so am I actually. That's lower than I thought it would be. So we'll move on here and talk some PlayStation 4 numbers. PlayStation 4 is crushing Nintendo and Microsoft, and Sony execs apparently explain their master plan. Sony announced not too long ago that they had sold almost 60 million PlayStation 4 consoles since its launch in 2013. It sold 1 million VR headsets. 1 in 5 PlayStation 4 consoles since November have been the Pro model. Horizon Zero Dawn sold over 3.4 million copies. Xbox One sales have been pegged at below 30 million, even though Microsoft does not reveal the sales anymore. Switch is obviously too new to compare. But Sony is, just laying waste to their competitors. I'm expecting Switch sales to taper off as well. There still hasn't, as far as I'm concerned, been much release in the way of content, games, the important part of the console, to even take my interest up at all. Not even a percentage point in the Switch. Just not at all. No, not even close. So Sony's been throwing hands, dropping the gauntlet, and these other consoles are not picking up the heat. So with the new Xbox coming out, Xbox One X, Microsoft is trying to go in, and we had this discussion last podcast. They're trying to just have more powerful hardware, but if the games aren't there, then it's not going to matter. So PlayStation, as far as I feel, has been doing everything right, and I think this just echoes our conversation from last podcast. So I mean, there's not really much else to say about it. They're doing great. They're probably going to continue doing great, and I think this article doesn't really have too much information other than just some of those numbers. Let me see. Yeah, I don't really see anything. I'm a little surprised by those PlayStation VR numbers.
Yeah, I thought that was those are actually a lot stronger than I expected them to be.
Yeah, I mean, with almost 60 million PlayStation 4s sold and only 1 million VR, that's not really a huge percentage of owners. But when you consider that that's actually the price of another console, that's pretty impressive, actually.
More.
Yeah, this is more expensive. Excuse me, sorry.
More expensive than a console. So yeah, so it's still I expect those numbers. I didn't think the numbers would be that high. I know the numbers aren't huge considering the amount of PS4s that are on the market, but I still thought 1 million was a decent number. I think they're happy with those numbers. I mean,
yeah, I think so. It's definitely a good start. If they can expand, again, the important part is the games. If they can get better games for VR, because for me, it still feels like a gimmick, and I'm certainly not going to drop $400, to go, oh wow, this feels weird, like I don't know. The VR experience is very intriguing to me in and of itself, but not for the price of another console and then some.
No, for sure.
And the games that are out don't warrant that sale for me either.
No, I definitely like to try it. I mean, I've never tried the VR, so I would definitely like to try the VR to get an experience for it, to see how it feels and what it's like to actually play in it. I definitely would like to try it, but I'm not chilling out like $800 to buy the full kit and caboodle and be like, oh, every time I play this, I throw up. Every time I play this, I get a migraine. No thanks. I have a job that gives me fucking migraines. I don't need my gaming experience to do the same. But yeah, I mean, it's as for the some of I know me and you, and we'll group work into that. He's not here to say anything, but we're we're kind of we're Sony fanboys. I'm not ashamed to admit it. And I mean, I know Sony has some flaws. I know they could have changed things and made things, a bit better here and there. But I mean, for all in all, man, I'm happy with my console, and I don't see me jumping ship to Xbox at all.
No,
so,
absolutely
I mean,
not. I had been toying with the idea of picking up an Xbox One at some point in the next year or so, just to play a few other games that are on there.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's, some of the games on Xbox are good, but I just don't see me dropping the dollars to buy one anytime soon. No. I'll either get one once they go dirt cheap when the Xbox One X comes out, or
that's probably what I'm gonna wait for. Yeah.
Or I'll find someone that's desperate for money around Christmas, and I'll buy their Xbox. I'll buy their Xbox One S from them or something cheap.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing drawing me to really go, oh yeah, I need an Xbox One. Don't get me wrong, there's some games, but not enough to warrant the price tag.
Yep. All right, so talk to us about Steam. They've been very busy.
Yeah. So Steam now handles over $60,000 worth of refund requests per day. Oh, right now is that 60,000 refunds?
I think that's 60,000 refund
60,000,
requests.
yeah, 60,000 refund requests per day. Holy hell.
That is incredible.
That is mind-blowing. 60,000 refunds. I figured, a month, that's still a lot in a month, but still, that's an understandable number, but 60,000 refund requests per day.
Yeah. That's
so
nearly
people are buying a lot. Either people are buying a lot of games, and not playing them and they regret it, or people are buying a lot of shitty fucking games.
Well, I think it needs to be said it's probably the latter. I think shitty games. With PC games on Steam, there's a lot that are dirt cheap. There's some that are early access. There's a lot that's been marked down for different sales, and especially the summer sale that's going on. You can get a lot of games for next to nothing right now, and that may not seem like a big deal to try to refund for some people, but 60,000 requests is pretty serious, and that's per day. So doing the quick math here, that's 1.8 million in 30 days. Yeah. That's a ton of refunds.
So this article is from June. It's a little bit older. I don't know if it's changed any since this came out the 1st of June. But it says last month, we informed you about Steam handling over 50,000 refund requests. Well, it appears the number has increased 10,000, so it's going to be more now. Steam is currently handling, in the time of the article, 60,000 refund requests a day. And according to stats, out of these 60,000, in some cases, 100,000 requests a day.
God.
Only 9 to 12% of them are not being immediately addressed. So, only 9 to 12% are not being immediately addressed. So, 80 to 90% are being immediately addressed.
That's pretty good.
So, does that mean is that acceptance or denials?
Oh, no. Addressed means that there's somebody either at the system, because I know there is an automatic system that's supposed to look and work through some of these, so they're not all handled by people.
No.
That has to get to a certain point, I think.
Yeah. But it says that 9 to 12% of them are not being immediately addressed. So that's only a small number not being immediately looked at. And they are waiting a response. In addition, a typical response time for refunds is 48.75 minutes, to get technical there, down to 1.45 hours. Those are pretty damn... Why did they just go 50 minutes to an hour to 2 hours? Why didn't they just do that? But they rounded this right down, boy. They wanted to make sure people know their money's available in 4 minutes and 75 seconds. So I mean, Jesus, that is mind-numbing to know that that's per day, and so people are getting their money back on a lot of PC games. So
maybe it doesn't say how many are actually refunded, just that they're addressed.
No, it does. Yeah, it doesn't say how many, but I mean,
that has to be said.
It's the process has to be automated, because there's no way they need 150,000 people to process, them that fast. That's got to be automated. It has to be. There's no doubt about it. But yeah.
Well, like I said, there's a certain certain point where it is automated. Yeah, so I would say a good portion of those are taken care of without anybody ever having to look at it.
Because I know
Some of those
they can they can return them long as it's been
less than 2 hours of playtime.
Yeah, so imagine if as soon as you go to hit refund, imagine the system looks at it, oh, he hasn't played more than 2 hours, boom, there you go, there's your money back. So that is just bananas.
Yes, it is.
God damn. PC Master Race.
Okay, so we'll move on to another Nintendo topic here. The Switch paid online services have now been detailed. They've been announced. Now, when the Switch came out, the online gameplay, online voice chat and lobby and all that stuff, and the eShop, all that was fine for online for non-subscribers up until they said the paid services started. Well, they'll be starting in 2018. Now, I don't think, this does not say when in 2018 yet, but I guess they're going to go ahead and start pushing. They're going to start marketing in the direction of trying to get people to pay for the Switch Online. So how this is going to work is it's absolutely required that you have a smartphone, and this is another gripe that we've had since they announced, the compatibility between your phone and your Switch. So you have to download a Nintendo Switch Online app. It'll link to compatible games to where you can see information, kind of like for Battlefield players, battle log links. It'll give you access to stats and stuff like that. You're also going to be voice chatting through the app on your phone and inviting friends as well. It says, with the app, you can send online play invitations to players on the Switch friends list. It lets you send invites via social networks and messaging services. When you're invited to a game, you get notified right away via a push notification on your smart device. So you need a phone. Obviously, this is going to drain your battery. You got to have a headset plugged into the phone itself, I'm guessing, because it comes from the app. So whatever headphones or headset that you're using is going to need to not be USB based. I think that's an important distinction that we need to make. Yeah. And they announced the pricing points for a 1-month membership. Nintendo Switch Online is going to be $3.99. For a 3-month membership, $7.99, and for a 12-month membership, $20. Now, those prices are pretty low, but I don't know how they explain away how just awful the idea was to have this be an app-based online service. That blows my mind.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. I mean, we've definitely shit on Nintendo for this, but here's my thing. How is that price points? How is that even... Like, those price points make no sense. $3.99 for a month, $7.99 for 3, or $12 for 20. So, there's no incentive to buy anything but the 12 months. You'd be crazy to pay any other price.
Well, maybe. I mean, those are cheap though, comparatively speaking to the other online services.
Well,
that's dirt cheap
compared to Xbox and Sony. Yeah, they're fucking drop in the bucket, but the pricing point is definitely strange to me as well. Those numbers. But yeah,
well, I am happy to say that the prices are low though. I mean, that's one thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, that's US dollars, so like double that for Canadians, fuckers. But yeah, I mean, the whole, like we done one of the previous podcasts, we went over what's possibly going to be used for like a headset to play online, like the competitive shooters like Splatoon. And it's like you got to have your phone and an adapter and this headset and a splitter, and I'm like, what the hell? So how would you ever be able? So if you're going, say, somewhere, like say, you're going to take your Switch with you, and you said, oh well, I can play Splatoon because so and so's got Wi-Fi, whatever. So I'll go to his place where you can drag your phone. You make sure you have your phone, which everyone drags with them anyways. Then you got to have your fucking adapter, and you got to have your headset and the splitter, whatever. So holy shit. So it's not just taking the Switch and your phone with you. You also got to take this adapter and this headset, and like, to me, it was why didn't they just make it plug in a fucking headset directly into the unit where you can do audio and mic all in one? Like, that's God. So
Yeah,
it
I don't understand it all, because from a design standpoint, when they're in the drawing room and they're trying to figure out how to incorporate multiplayer into this, the guy that says, you know what, why don't we make them have a phone and do it exclusively through an app and take it completely out of the console? How did that idea pick up traction? Like, that makes no sense to me at all. None whatsoever.
So, like I said, they're like them be offering eShop deals, games classic selection, product name subject to change because it's just called classic game selection.
Yeah.
So you can't even do an online lobby and voice chat without the paid service at all. So I think that's might be the same for PlayStation and Xbox. So I don't know. I've always said the live or plus, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, I mean,
well,
like
on PS3, you didn't need it to do the online player voice chat. So I guess that's
no. But I'm talking
now
on current PS4, current gen. Yeah, like I don't know if you don't have plus, can you still talk to people in a chat? I couldn't tell you.
I don't know
for sure.
So, but I'm not positive.
I wouldn't think so either. But yeah, but I mean, like the online gameplay, and so they're going the way of subscription based, monthly or yearly subscription based, like everyone else is. But requiring you to have an app, requiring you to have an adapter, and everything else, like it just to me is still a bad design choice. And this classic game selection is kind of like, I guess, PlayStation Plus. But these ones, you only get the games for that month, right? Remember we talked about this previously, I think back when the Switch was announced?
Yes.
That
I think this is going to be a rotating list of games. This is not going to be static.
Yeah, it's not like PlayStation Plus where you download the game and you have it until your Plus runs out. These games are only playable for that month or whatever, and then after the month's up, you can't play the game anymore. So is that why they can justify the small or the limited or the low? You want to say small, but the low price for your monthly subscription?
I don't know. I mean, I would almost rather them see. I'd rather see them do online services, for free at this point. If it's going to be this convoluted and it doesn't seem like you get much out of it, I just don't even feel like they should charge for it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what their eShop deals are. I mean, those could be.
I don't either. But if there's no games to play, then deals on what?
On what are those called? Those little characters you can buy them.
Me, you, us, yeah, those things.
Those things you can buy them hats.
Oh, good.
Hats and slippers. I don't fucking know. Uber's not here. We don't have a Nintendo Switch guru. I don't fucking know. But you buy an eShop of Nintendo, man. Can you buy a digital towel to wipe your fucking tears because you bought a Switch? I don't know. Oh, God damn it. We don't like the Switch, do we?
It just doesn't make sense. There's so many things about it that doesn't make sense. It's just crazy.
Like I said, I was happy that they were announcing a new console. I thought they were going to go full on, like, let's go full next gen console. Yeah, no, let's go something totally strange. You fuckers.
Yep. All right.
They tricked me with the Wii, they're not tricking me with the Switch.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move on here to our last subject of the night. Panther, the PS4. How much more popular is it in Europe?
3 times.
Oh, yeah.
3 times more popular than the Xbox One in Europe. That is a lot.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. There's no numbers been released officially, and I would know if this is how official these numbers are. It's from Sony. That's according to Sony Global Sales Chief Jim Ryan. So, Mr. Jim Ryan, if you're listening, if anybody's listening, yeah, according to good old Sales Chief Jim Ryan, like 3 times. That's huge. I mean, we've talked numbers before, and we know that it's over 60 million sold versus, a speculated reported sold 30 million for Xbox One. That's big numbers, but in Europe alone, it's 3 times more popular. And we don't see it as a fad It's a brand new medium, not only for gaming entertainment, for non-gaming entertainment. Sony Global Game Development boss Sean Layden said. So even Sean Layden got in tooting his horn a little bit about sales price or sales numbers. And he also noted that one of every five, we mentioned it before, one every five PS4 sold these days is a Pro. So, I mean, Sony's still thumping ass, man, when it comes to console sales.
Yeah, but especially in Europe.
Yeah, like they come out swinging, and they haven't stopped swinging.
Yep.
It's amazing. Like I said, I mean, it took so long for the PS3 to get into its own and to get quality games and to finally take a run at the Xbox 360.
Yep.
But right out of the gate, the PS4 just never stopped. And I mean, I kind of, in a way, almost feel bad for. No, I don't. I was going to say I
about
feel
to say,
bad
you
for
stop
Microsoft,
it right now. No, you don't.
I don't. They made mistakes. They made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, it's man, every podcast, it's like, oh, we talk about the great sales numbers at Sony. We talk about Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, we're kind of replaying that record almost every episode. But these articles come out, it just reinforces what we say, and it reinforces the community to say, look, you made the right choice, and I'm definitely excited. I mean, I got a PS4. I played as much as I can, and the games that are coming. I mean, not everything coming end of this year and first and next is exclusive, but there's enough PS4 exclusives to make console sellers for sure. So those numbers will just get bigger.
Sony just continues to impress.
Yes, very much.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of 4-Player Co-op. Apparently 2-player co-op. One of these days we'll have a few podcasts in a row where we get everybody involved. Unfortunately, nice. Just schedules don't match up sometimes, and it just doesn't happen. But we try to make it happen as often as we can. So just the two of us here, we're going to keep the flag going, keep waving the flag, and thank you guys so much for listening. Of course, everything that we've talked about is going to be linked in the description of the YouTube video. You can find us on SoundCloud. Make sure that you're following our Twitter page at 4Player Co-op Live. And if you guys have any comments, questions, insults, anything you want us to know, how dumb we are or whatever, tell us that the other two members are better than we are. Anything you guys want to say, go ahead and tweet at us or comment.
Well, that'd just be a fucking lie.
I didn't say they had to say the truth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry. If you want to lie, feel free.
But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the podcast, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.
Later.